You want to know how to sell your book. That's what every author wants to know. That's why they go through all the hard work. That is what they want to know at the end of the day. They didn't do all of this just so the book can sit on the shelf. I mean, yes, it looks nice on the shelf, but really, you want it in people's hands. You want them to read it. And in order for that to happen, they have to buy it. So let's talk about it. How do we go from getting the book out of your mind, off of your individual desk, and into the hands of readers? So, in the previous episodes of How to Be an Indie Author, we talked about how to prepare your book, how to brand yourself as an author, how to use social media effectively, and today we're going to talk about how to actually sell your book. And while this may seem like a bunch of things that are like, Chelsea, you're not actually telling me how to get people to pick up the book, all of these things taken together build up into a product that people want to buy. So, starting at the beginning, the first thing that you are going to do to sell your book is to build up your team. You need ARC readers and you need a street team. These are very different. And in case you missed it in an earlier part of this series, I'm going to break it down for you really quickly. Your ARC readers are advanced review copies or advanced reader copies, however you want to look at it. These are your professionals. These are your people who are getting it, who are putting it on Bookstagram, who are putting it on TikTok, who are essentially trying to make your book go viral. This is your front-facing audience, and this is very important. ARC readers are not required to promote your book. These are people who you reach out to for publicity. If someone is promoting your book for free, you cannot require them to promote your book, even if you send them a copy of your book for free. So that caveat out of the way, your ARC readers are the people that you want to send your finished copy. Your street team, you're also going to send them your finished copy, but those are the people that you can fully 100% expect to give you good promo. They are the people who are like, hey, I believe in you. I want to read your book. I want to help you put this book out in the world. They're the ones who are retweeting you, who are sharing, who are making their own individual posts. And these are the people that you kind of have together and we'll call the group chat, right? These are the people that you give incentives to post, generally speaking. Everyone does things a little bit differently, but I'm speaking from my personal experience here and from what I've seen online. If you have further questions, I highly recommend that you do a deeper search on your own. But generally speaking, for a street team, you're going to have a group of people, I would say 10 to 20. Some people have really large street teams, but if you are a newer author, if you're an indie author, or you want a highly engaged audience, I recommend having no more than 15 to 20 people on your street team. And the way this works is you send them a copy of your book, you ask them to read the book, and these are the people that you ask to leave reviews. These are the people that you ask to make posts. These are the people that you use to blurb your book. These are the people that you ask to go above and beyond. And these are the people that you can fully expect to give you positive reinforcement, to hype you up, to help you get your book out in the world. You need both sets of people. Your street team are kind of your groundwork. They are like the initial buzz. It's kind of like a slow clap. You need someone to start clapping, and your street team are the people who clap for you first. Everybody else gets going. Your ARC team are the people who pick up on what the slow clap is doing, and they feed into that building momentum so that other people want your book. When done correctly, this can give you a broad range of coverage, and word of mouth and recommendation is the biggest way to move product to sell a book. So you're going to want to make sure that you pick these people with care, because ideally, if you set up your street team correctly, especially if you write fantasy, especially if you're writing a series, the goal would be to not have to repick these people again. These would be the people that you lean on. It was like, hey, I have another book coming out. Do you want to help me? These are going to be your, I'll say, the founding members of your fan club, if you will. These are the people that you trust. These are the people that you know you can send them just about anything and they're going to love it. You want your street team to be a positive experience, but you also want them to be honest with you, because this is your last phase of internal feedback before your book goes out to the real world. So that being what it is, 15 to 20 people on your street team. I would say somewhere between 5 to 10 people on your ARC team. Any more than that, and you really start venturing into the realm of sending so many people your book for free that you lose track of who has your book, what kind of content they're posting. As a pro tip, if you are reaching out to ARC reviewers who have a platform, that you actually follow and engage with their platform prior to reaching out to them, and not just for clout reasons. So Make sure that if you're asking someone for a review, they actually post reviews on their platform and not just book hauls or do cute outfit matches or whatever content they create. Make sure that the content you're asking the ARC reviewer for is the kind of content that they actually create. It makes you come across as a lot more professional, and it shows that you value their time because you watch their content prior to asking them to do free labor for you. The key thing to remember about ARC readers and street team is that the goal is visibility. So you want as many people seeing and talking about your book. And if you do have a smaller team, and if you're a debut author or a newer author and you only have 1 or 2 books under your belt, this may apply to you. I highly recommend that you ask your street team and your ARC readers to stagger their posts. That way you have a steady stream of content coming out leading up to your release and shortly after, instead of everyone posting on the same day. That could be great for a cover reveal, but if you're talking about reviews, if you're talking about general hype, if you're talking about general content and being put in book lists, the more time people see your book, the more likely they are to remember it. And the general rule of thumb for book content is that a reader has to see a book no less than 7 times before they will remember it or think about purchasing it. So keep that in mind when you are structuring your plan and your strategy around getting your book out in the world. Once you have expanded your team, you're going to move on into actually talking about your book. And this is the big one. This is the core aspect of any marketing strategy. You as the author have to live and own the fact that you are an author and you wrote a book, and you need to be confident in telling people about it. I'm going to say that again. You need to be confident in telling people about it. You need to know what your book is about and be able to succinctly explain to someone what your book is. So if I say, hey, my name is C.M. Lockhart, this is my book, We Are the Origin. It's the first book of a fantasy trilogy about a group of assassins who have to work together to save the gods in their realm from destruction. I didn't stumble, I didn't mumble, I wasn't confused. And that sounds a lot better than being like, hey, I'm an author, I go by C.M. Lockhart, and I have a book coming out, and it's, the first book of a trilogy, and it's fantasy, and it's got Black characters, and assassins, and gods. When you start adding and you are trying to make up what your book is about and try to pull relevant points off the top of your head, you're going to sound a lot less confident, a lot less sure. And when you, the author, don't sound confident in your work, the reader cannot have confidence in you and what you have written. So this is what always grinds people's gears when I suggest it, but practice your elevator pitch. And if you don't know how to create an elevator pitch, then check out this video. It's like 10 minutes and it walks you through start to finish how to make an elevator pitch, how to talk about your book, what to include in it, and practice it. Practice it, practice it, practice it so that you know what you're saying and how to say it. And do this for all of your books, all of your series. So you've already heard the one for my Wrath of the Gods series, but if I'm talking about The Lady Widow, Death Among the Stars, I'm going to tell you that is the first book of a novella series about a grieving widow who becomes an intergalactic bounty hunter in order to avenge the murder of her husband. It is completely different, but same level of confidence, same level of smoothness, so that you know exactly what it is that you are getting into. Once you have mastered that, that is the hardest part of any type of marketing, any type of selling. And the beautiful thing about it is that it works on TikTok, it works on Instagram, it works on Substack, it works on LinkedIn, it works on Threads, it works on your newsletter, it works on people in person. It works when you're literally in an elevator pitching your book. Once you have it, once you're comfortable with it, once you're confident in it, once it can just roll off the tip of your tongue, every time someone asks you about your book, you are going to be able to say, this is what my book is about. That makes you sound clear, confident, ready, and that makes someone who is interested know that, hey, I want to know more about it, and then they can ask you follow-up questions. Or if they're not interested, they can keep going. And this is a pro tip that is very hard for a lot of authors to learn. You absolutely want to weed out the people who are not interested in your book. Everyone's not going to be interested in your book. Everyone is not going to want to read your book. And it's really important for you to be able to weed those people out from the jump. You're not trying to get everybody to read your book. You're trying to get the people who are interested in your book to find your book. Those are two completely different goals, and it's really important to focus on the people who want to read your book and getting it in front of them instead of trying to warp and twist and arrange your book in such a way that someone who was never going to be interested in it is picking it up. Because what you don't want is disappointed readers. You want excited readers, which is why you need to know how to talk about your book. Okay. If you guys have questions about how to make your elevator pitch or you need help with it, then I highly recommend that you sign up to join the channel and book some time with me so that I can help you make your elevator pitch and we can all be successful. Okay. And this is also a pro tip. Today is April 15th, and I talked about this on the Melanin chat that we had earlier today. As of this recording, y'all are seeing this much further in the future, but I digress. Include a link to your book whenever you're talking about it online. I got some really powerful writing advice from D.L. White early on in my career, and it has stuck with me. And that is, no one is going to do the extra work to find your book. So if you're online, if you're on Threads, if you're on Twitter, if you are Substack, if you are on LinkedIn, if you're on anywhere that allows you to post a link, post it. If you're talking about your book, send people to where you want them to purchase it from, whether that be Amazon, whether that be from your website directly. And if you're selling direct, that is a whole other conversation that we can have on another day. If you guys want a video on that, let me know down in the comments below. But the key here is post your link, okay? Post your link, post your link, post your link. Send people to where you want to get the book from so that they don't have to do any extra work. The less work that they have to do, the more likely that the people interested in your book will actually follow through in purchasing your book, especially if it's an impulse buy. You want as few steps as possible between the impulse and the purchase. So post a link, send them to your book, and let it be that. Because also keep in mind that some people are going to click on your link and they're not going to purchase, and that's just the name of the game. The key here, as I said before, is visibility. The more people who see your book, the more traffic you get, the better all of these things work in your favor. And ultimately, like I said at the beginning, all these things come together so that you can sell your book, move your product. So once you have expanded your team, once you have gotten comfortable talking about your book, you're going to move on to this final tip, which is reaching out to libraries and bookstores directly. And I know that for a lot of authors, this can be kind of intimidating, especially if you are a debut author, if you're an indie author, or if you've simply never done it before. But this is a key part of getting that passive traction that a lot of authors are looking for. You need the visibility of being in stores, and it lends to a higher level of credibility when you can say that you can get my book from Amazon, my website, or your local library. It lends an air of professionalism. It lends an air of, oh, it's not just you. This isn't some book that just popped up somewhere. This is an actual physical, tangible item that you can get from a government-funded source, like a public library. And if you're watching this in 2025, support your library, get a library card, tell people to go to your library. And there's always a conversation going around that purchasing a book or getting a book from the library does not help the author because you're not paying for it directly. And I want to make this perfectly clear. Getting the book from the library helps the author because the library purchases the book at full price. The more people who check out the book, the more likely they are going to buy more copies at full price. And as I said, the name of the game is visibility. The goal is to get as many people as possible reading your book because people who get the book from the library will also still leave a review on Amazon. People who get a book from the library will also still leave a review on Storygraph or Goodreads or Fable or tell a friend about it, or they'll make content about it or do it in a book haul. You can still get so much support from the library outside of the initial monetary sale. And if you are planning to have a career, if your book is in the library and people are checking it out and it does well, it makes it a lot easier to get your future books into the same library, which means you now have built-in sales that you can bank on whenever you release a book, and you can build a relationship. So if you do want to do a book event in the future, guess what? The library already has copies of your book in rotation. They're already familiar with you, and these things build on top of each other. So make sure that you are reaching out. And if you are unsure or you're like, Chelsea, I am not going to do that, that is absolutely nerve-wracking. If you guys join my membership or my channel, I will leave a template for you guys so that you can just copy and paste it, switch it out, do what you need to do, because I have reached out to many libraries in my time. So fun fact, if you are interested in reading We Are the Origin and you're like, Chelsea, I cannot pay full price for a signed copy, even though it comes with artwork and I want to support you, you can get it from your local library. And if it's not at your local library, you can request it in any format, whether that be physical, digital, or audiobook. So get into it, and it's a great way to help support me and the channel, even if you can't join or spend money like you would like. I get it. I understand. We in 2025, it is a struggle for all of us. But I will highly recommend to not only reach out to libraries, but reach out to bookstores. And I'm not talking about Barnes & Noble. I'm not talking about Books A Million. I'm not talking about the big chain that you are probably imagining. Reach out to your indie bookstores, because indie bookstores 9 times out of 10 actually care about indie authors. As long as you approach them professionally, as long as you can tell them what your book is about, as long as you have a finished high quality product, you can talk to the owner, you can talk to the manager and say, hey, I'm an indie author, I'm local, I would like to have my book be in your store. What is the process for doing that? And I always recommend having a process for that. And if you saw one of the other videos in the series where I talked about how to distribute your book, I mentioned having your book available through Ingram Spark and not just through Amazon. And this conversation is why I recommend that. Because pro tip, indie bookstores are not going to buy your book from Amazon. Unless you are a super popular author, unless you are moving so many books that everybody and their mom is clamoring for a copy, unless you are the exception to the rule and not the rule itself, they are not going to buy your book from Amazon, because it does not make sense to buy your book from their competition. So you want to make your book available in a way that they can purchase it at wholesale and possibly at a discount. But again, pricing is a whole other video. If you guys want that video, let me know. But you want to make it available and as easy as possible for them to get your book and stock it in store. And then once they do, tell people that your book is in the store. So if you guys are watching this video, you have probably heard of Resist Booksellers in Petersburg, Virginia. Resist always has signed copies of my books available in store 9 times out of 10. It is the bookstore that I choose to support. So doing that and driving people to the store and telling you, hey, go visit Resist Booksellers if you're in or around Petersburg, Virginia, or Richmond, Virginia. It's a Black-owned bookstore and my books are there. And if you want signed copies with artwork, he has some on hand. That also helps their store. And if you're helping their store, they're more likely to help you. It's a very reciprocal energy that has to go into being an author, whether you're talking about readers, whether you're talking about bookstores, whether you're talking about libraries, whether you're talking about other authors. It's a give and a take, and you have to make sure that you're giving, which goes back to what I was saying in step number 2 of this, of being a part of your community, not a drain on it. So if people are helping and supporting you, make sure you're returning that energy by helping and supporting them. All that said, it all begins with a well-crafted email. And this is I'll say a Chelsea tip, because this is my personal experience. I'm not going to say it's right or wrong, but when you're talking business, you come off a lot more professional if you send an email through the correct channels to the correct person. You sound a lot more professional if you're like, hi, my name is, I am such and such person. I wrote such and such book and I'm reaching out because I would like to have it in your store. Can you please let me know what next steps need to be taken? That sounds a lot more professional than sliding into someone's DMs and being like, hey, I love your store. How do I get my books on your shelves? Because 9 times out of 10, bookstore owners don't even manage their own social media page. So you may not even be talking to the right person. So that is my 2 cents for sure. Spend it how you like. But that being said, hopefully you guys found this video and this series to be helpful. If you did, please let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what bookstore you would love to have your books in person. Like, this is your dream store. If you walked in and your books were on the shelf, you would absolutely like flip out. Let me know down in the comments below so that maybe we can start supporting each other and going to these bookstores and asking for these books, you know? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to support this channel, please consider joining it either through the join button down below or signing up for our membership over on shop.melaninlibrary.com. And if you haven't already, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss my next video. If you like this hoodie, you can get it from our shop down below. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for being here. And until next time, I hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye, you guys.